Okay, Boomer League, what's poppin'? Yeah, let's get into it. This was the final regular season week. Got some good games here, some quick games, some long games, a little mix of everything. Ready for playoffs though. Hopefully get to try out some stuff I wasn't able to in the regular season. I got some heat in the back pocket, just sitting in the team builder waiting to go. So hopefully I can end up pulling that out. But yeah, let's just hop into this and see where it goes. It's been a while since Salamander and Ty played, so I don't really remember this game a whole lot. I do remember, however, Salamander did not have Recover on Clodsire. I think he accidentally put on Body Slam. Yeah, I think that was it. All right, so we got Red Card Fortress here. Red Card doesn't like pop Zoroark's illusion, so Ty can't tell anything yet on. I mean, he knows like Clodsire had toxic spikes. Like Zoroark doesn't learn that, but Azelf and Zoroark both get flamethrowers, so he's probably still thinking about what they're doing. Same speed tier, not like he would have been able to tell. Big Cecil's Edge miss. Big miss. I forgot about that. Oh man. Wow, how did I forget about that? Yeah, that sucks. Ty doesn't have any removal unless he copies like Serena with Ditto and then Rapid Spins or something that way. So like those T-Spikes would have been up. I guess most of his team doesn't really care necessarily. Like Volcanion doesn't really want it, but all right, so yeah, he's got to switch out, going to Goodra on this. Good chunk up with Ice Spinner. Big Teeter Dance play. I love it. That's awesome. Ty just breaking through confusion. Goodra is just like going so stupid, and as I say that, it hits itself. Like I said, I do not remember this game like at all. I mean, if Serena can take Goodra down to 5%, that's a winning exchange, that's for sure. Palafin's at least in hero form, so that's useful. We see its Water Absorb Clodsire. I think Palafin had Zen Headbutt on it, and that was just kind of a scout on Ty's end to figure out what... Because, like, if he was unaware, obviously, like, the Steam Eruption would have blown it up, but it also means he could Jet Punch with Palafin. But since he's not unaware, he has Bulk Up, I believe, and can start breaking through that way. Toxic Spikes kind of put him on a timer, though, and Ditto coming in as a normal type before, transferring into Thunderous ends up getting the T-Spike action. Yeah, this would have been a good time to recover his Clodsire, that's for sure. P-Jab. I wonder if he had Earthquake. Big Flamethrower. All right, let's just break it down from here. How do you win from each of these positions? It looks like if Palafin can get a bulk up, it's looking pretty solid, unless it's Sash Zoroark. Yeah, so if I'm Salamander, I'm trying to preserve Claude as much as possible. But that's tough because Volcanion's putting a ton of pressure down with flamethrowers. You can't actually stay in with that because you don't have recovery, other than lefties. Meowscarada, still annoying. It's faster than everything, barring a Scarf. Okay. Actually, this is looking a lot better for Ty than I thought, given the T-Spikes and everything. Yeah, I think if I'm Salamander, 30% Thunderous, that's tough. Yeah, got to get Zoroark in at some point and figure out a way to break. I think that's like the only way, but how do you do that, right? Thundy coming in, and since Azelf and Thundy both have health gone, whenever Zoroark comes in, it's going to be obvious. I think he was scarfed, Meowscarada. Yeah, okay. Yeah, he was. Because he wasn't even worried. And then if it was... Obviously it wasn't sashed, but... Okay, got it. Yeah, now it's all coming back to me. Palafin looking like a threat the whole game and then didn't didn't even click a move. Just came in and left. It's all right, Ty. One of these days, Palafin's going to sweep for you. Just not today. But yeah, that was a good game. I think the lack of recovery on Cloudsire really did Salamander in at the end of the day. And plus, you're playing Ty, who has like a super annoying team where you have to use so many resources to get rid of his stuff. And then, you know, you got rid of Gudra and Fortress early, and you still have the demon core of Palafin, Meowscarada, and Volcanion. Plus Ditto, as if you wanted to set up on him, he can just come in and copy you. So tough matchup. But yeah, we'll just go on to the next one then. All right, we got Culpa and Tobin. I think I watched this on my phone and caught a little bit of it. I think I remember the ending. We finally see a good Glamora lead, but he doesn't go for any hazards. What's up with that, man? Got the Glamora Goldango combo. Just start stacking. Tough, though, with a Great Tusk, of course, but I probably would have ran, like, Balloon Goldango this week. Big boy U-turn. I guess that was a misclick on Culpa's end. You know, you probably can just go into Tusk or Screamtail on Roaring Moon all day and not have to risk your Rotom like that. But maybe you forgot you weren't Scarfed or something or whatever and just wanted to, like, Volt Switch out. That could have happened. Either way, that kind of sucks. Everything's on the ground now, and there's a big boy Donphan waiting there for you. The electric Dragalge's sick with that T-Bolt. I like that. I think you can get so creative with this mon. But yeah, everything's on the ground. Tobin's just going to get his rocks up. I probably just would have went for some damage at that point. But, you know, he's good with Rotom Wash into that still. He doesn't really care. He can just go for the pump. Obviously got to hit your pumps, but... And he does. Drop a Draco on you. All right. Everything's on the ground for both teams now. So, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with sacking the Rotom there. Given he hard switched out of Donphan instead of going for the Draco, which... you know, probably would have brought it down to its sturdy earlier in the game. I'm assuming this is specs. That's my read on it. You probably could have just went into a Azumarill after the first Draco and then, you know, started hitting or set up or whatever. I think keeping Rotom around for Great Tusk probably would have been the best play, but maybe it is. I don't remember if it's Air Balloon on Golden Go or not. Big Sludge Wave. That's ridiculous. Donphan comes in. Still not going for any EQs. But yeah, now you're... At least you do have a 100% Donphan here. And we see its Photosynthesis defense. Alright, yeah. Balloon Goldango. Okay, so not the biggest deal losing Rotom then, because this can switch in on that all day. Would suck to have to take a knockoff, of course. But yeah. 293. Yeah, and you saw that it was defensive Great Tusk too, so you knew it probably wasn't going to be Jolly max speed, so you don't even have to worry about the knock. Chi-Yu and Sun just being a demon, but as we can see, Tobin's got more Pokemon than Sun turns left. And yeah, Azumarill, even in the Sun, 51%. Chi-Yu has no physical bulk. Yeah, I mean... It probably could have ended earlier going into the Azu first and maybe keeping the Rotom around, but yeah, I think Tobin just played this amazing. All right. Yeah. Okay, I remember the game now. Yeah, GG's, guys. I think Culpa's been beating Tobin in their Let's Plays on YouTube, so he got some actual revenge right here and something that matters. But yeah, good game. We'll move on to the next one. Oh, man, look at that. We don't have our avatars. Oh, come on. No avatars. What's up with that, man? Paid good money. By paid good money, I mean I did a really weird job in Photoshop, but it's all good. All right, so my plan this week was to get Lilligant to sweep. I thought I had a pretty good mashup, whether he brought like even a Quillfish or Zarude or whatever. If I got a Victory Dance up... I'd be faster than everything, be able to sleep powder anything. And I put Terra Ice on at the very last minute. Was a bad call. I should have went with Terra Dark. I could have ended this game and saved us a lot of pain had I gone Terra Dark in front of the Klefki, but we'll talk about that when it gets there. I led Mew because I figured he was going to lead something that led well into Grimmsnarl. And so, like, a Specs Dragapult, I guess, makes sense for that. Yeah, I was kind of expecting, like, a Corviknight lead, but I knew I'm running specially defensive Mew, so I could live any hit, even a Spec Shadow Ball, and just get my rocks up. And then I can go for a quick taunt here on the Corviknight, prevent it from doing any sort of shenanigans, getting rid of my rocks. I want to keep those bad boys up. Alright, now I can go into Grim, and he misses the pump. That does suck. Sucks a lot. And we'll see why Grimmsnarl's health is so important later on. Okay, take 33 from Brave Bird. That's an important number to remember. Get my screens up. Alright, Urshifu's in. And Urshifu's out. Man, this game was so long, I hardly remember the beginning to middle game. Like, the early game is just, like, so far in the past. Alright, so I go for that so I can keep my screens and rocks up. Get big damage down on him, and he red cards me. Really cool, but I'm figuring out items here. I know Rotom's boots because it didn't take rocks damage. We're going to see from the Surging Strikes here, I'm able to calc that and figure out this is Punching Glove Urshifu. And I still got it Reflect. Now, he's running Taunt. And for pretty much the whole game, I thought Urshifu had 5 moves. And I'm like, oh god, this is bad. And then I miss a Play Rough. And I'm like, okay, this is really bad. He gets the next one up. And I miss Play Rough again. And I type GG in the chat. Because at this point, I'm like, alright, well, he's just going to, like, at +6. And there's no way I can stop him from getting to be +6. I can't get a Reflect up with Grimmsnarl, meaning everything on my team is going to die to Aqua Jet. But he can only have 4 moves. And we see Surging Strike's Taunt Swords Dance so far. And, nope, not yet. Getting a little ahead of myself. But the plan, as of right now, is to get a Reflect up so I can live and Revenge Kill it. Hitting my Play Roughs. Going to Mew on the Drain Punch. There we go. We got the 4th move. I am no longer worried about priority. I can outspeed with Lilligant and Enamorus and kill it, so... you know, it is what it is. We're all good. So, I just go into Enamorus here on the Musac. Get some chip down on Rotom. I couldn't risk it. I knew he was going to go Rotom or even Klefki, but I don't know. Urshifu just kind of won the game, so I just had to get it out. I mean, the best play would have just been to double to Ursaluna, because the Rotom was so obvious, but it is what it is. Alright. So he goes to Klefki and sets up a Reflect here as I taunt. This was to do 2 things. Either he gets 1 screen up and he can't do anything else, or he goes for the Magnet Rise and doesn't get screens up. I kind of had a feeling he was going to run Magnet Rise for Enamorus and Ursaluna, but he opted for the Reflect, so I don't even know if he's running that or not. Get my Earthquake off here. At this point, Almamol is still low. And with him taunting and everything, I can't really, like, play around that. It would have been really risky. I mean, in hindsight, I could have just went Mola, switched hard out to Enamorus on the taunt, and then Revenge Killed. Or you know, got some chip on Rotom, or switched him out, whatever. That was a little bit too much of a stunt or die play. So I ended up just staying in with Luna. Luna lives. Gets a massive Facade off. And now Urshifu's at 30. So I go into Lilligant here. And I get my Sleep Powder down. Klefki's asleep. I can do anything at this point. What I should do is just attack into it. It has Draining Kiss, so it does have some form of recovery, but I need chip on this because at +1, you know, I'd actually be able to kill it with CC. But for some reason, I went for the Victory Dance, knowing that he couldn't wake up that turn, and I was like, what was that? That was so dumb. So I just go to Grimmsnarl on the T-Wave here. Not really predicting him to wake up, but I was like, what am I doing? I can just get my own screens up or taunt him. And at this point, it just becomes a chess match. I need to get Mola in. I need to get health back on it. I need to wish back my Grimmsnarl. Okay, so I got the light screen up. I go to Mola. It's at 61%. Okay, I got my health all the way back, basically. I didn't really need to make that double Grimmsnarl, but it felt right. Through light screen, I knew I could live any hit, even if it was a Shadow Ball. He goes for Pump, so this just meant Lilligant was free. Go for the Ice Spinner. I know he's Boots, so I'm faster. I just need to hit my CC and kill it. Okay, now Enamorus is looking good. Alright, Thorns is in. I thought that was weird, and I thought he was going to Terra, and it actually turned out he was Scarfed. I don't know that until after the game, eventually, or the last turn of the game, but it was just weird that he went into that, so there was no way I was going to stay in with Lilligant when I have a Mola sitting here to eat any sort of coverage hit. And I knew... Yeah, okay. So this turn was basically the tipping point of the match, and I'll speed up from here. I knew his best play was to prevent Grimmsnarl from getting a Wish back onto it, or even Enamorus. So I read the Brave Bird, and I do think this was his best play. What I was weighing in my head was like, all right, if he goes for the Roost here, or the Defog, one or the other... Like, what happens? I still have an Enamorus that could, like, Calm Mind up and kill it with Mystical Fire. And I still have a Lilligant that can put it to sleep and dance in its face. Corviknight's not... I mean, it's not something I want to switch into at all, but it's not something that's super threatening right now. So I just made the read that he was going to go for the Brave Bird, and he ended up knocking himself out with Recoil, and I get my Wish back onto my Mola, and we're looking good. Alright, so let's speed this up just a touch. Based off the damage, I knew he was Specs, so I could just go for the Protect here. He goes for the T-Bolt. I'm like, alright, well, I mean, I guess I could go Lilligant, but I don't really want to. So I threw the Wish up there, switch out into Lilligant, get it back, because I knew I'd live the Specs T-Bolt. And Mola has Regenerator, I can end up getting it back up later. I'm like, alright, well, I'm not going to let you get T-Wave. Go Mola. Getting my Wish up. I get Grimmsnarl back to full, which is pretty huge, as you can see from how much damage Drain Punch is doing. Play Rough doing 38 through the screen. And yeah, okay, that was a big play. He was either going to go for the Taunt or he was going to go for the Drain Punch, in my mind. There was like the slightest little bit of me that thought he might go for Surging Strikes, but I thought it was a good time to get Enamorus in and get some more chip down. And Earth Power would pick up Urshifu at that range, so pretty free Earth Power onto Klefki. Prevent the T-Wave. He gets a lot of health back from Draining Kiss. But Grimm's all the way back up. Gonna get my screens up. I get a little greedy, but I don't really need the speed on Enamorus at this point, which kind of sounds weird, but Lilligant is my endgame. So I just go to Enamorus here so I can have a healthy wall breaker. And I keep getting parried, like, continuously. I should have just went for the Earth Power too, not even the Moonblast, but... So I get parried. Finally get a Calm... No, Earth Power. I think I go for the Calm Mind here. Yep, parried. Just never getting it off. Yeah, I mean, this was just a marathon of a game. Yeah, I knew Grim lived anything from Specs. Get the Wish back onto it. Wished it gave me back like 80% health too, so kind of big chill in there. I know if I hit my Play Rough, he'll die. Okay. And at this point, this was basically like thrown in the towel. I mean, I was still in a winning position with Lilligant, and that was where my whole endgame was. And it was just a battle of frustrating positions at that point. So I get his plays and everything at this point. We both just wanted it over. My brain was so fried, man. I don't know if you've ever played an 80 or 90 minute Pokemon game, but I hadn't, and it sucked. It was tough, man. It was tough. I don't know if the crit mattered, but I would have just kind of switched out in the round anyway. But yeah, he lost his ghost type, so I could just CC for free, and Lilligant came in clutch, not missing anything. And yeah, we see on the last turn there, that was a Scarfed Iron Thorns going for the T-Punch. I mean, in theory, could have won if he got the para, and I missed. Like, actually, though. Mulla, I mean, I would have had to fight through paras on everything at that point, so it probably wasn't over. But, yeah, that was a great game. I'm tired just thinking about it. It was tough, man. But, yeah, GG's demo, and see you in the playoffs. Get a rematch or something. All right, Don and Peekaboo to round us off. This one was a little bit of a quicker game. Yep, okay, so, yeah, the fake out Indeedee works on Landers, but Psychic Terrain is blocking priority moves. So, generally, just probably not running priority stuff on something that's going to set Psychic Terrain, or really anything on your team if you're planning on bringing Psychic Terrain. That's just a recommendation, but you know, you can catch people off guard if you are running it. So fake out still works on like Landorus because it's not on the ground. But Don kind of plays out of his mind here. Goes for the smackdown there. U-turns out, goes into Slow King, and he's going to throw off one of the toughest moves in the game to play against, Future Sight. So all Peekaboo has to do at this point is stay in with Bronzong. Even against Kingambit, yes, you don't want to take a Kowtow Cleave, but there's something in the sky coming down for you, and it hit Valiant. And that basically ended the game at this point. There was just not enough offense left on Peekaboo's side to break through Don's like Glow King and Decidueye, and I think the Dunsparce took like nothing from a pretty big hit too later in this game. But yeah, it's tough. Future Sight's like one of the hardest things to keep track of. It's like, does it hit on the second turn, or is it after the second turn, or you know, when is it actually landing? Plus, you got to be careful of what's in front of you. So stuff like Slow King and Kingambit synergize pretty well. Just, good team building. All right. Reflect up. McDonald's Sprite doesn't really care about the Reflect, though, because he's just countered it with SD. The SD was a little greedy there. You know, Heatran could always just come in on a Kowtow through Reflect anyway, so. Cool Magma Storm set, but Slow King gets momentum and Chilly Reception, so it's not trapped. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, like, once you lose such a good piece like Valiant to, like, keep your head in it. You kind of start having the thoughts of, like, oh, that's it, it's over, and then try to claw back, maybe get a little lucky here or there, and that kind of gets you some momentum back on your side, but, you know, that it is what it is. It's Mons. Don went through it with the freezes. It's a stupid game, but we all love it. It's like chess, but one of your pieces on the board could just explode at any point. Tough Magma Storm miss, but once again, Slow King's probably just getting out with Chilly Reception anyway. Yep, and it does not care about Protect. It's like Teleport. And this is the Prime Rib Showdown. The Smackdown was a pretty fair play. He's up enough where even if he smacks down the Heatran and like maybe loses Landorus, Spectre can just kind of cook still. Kingambit's looking fantastic. So he kind of had the luxury to make that play. And it ended up paying off, hitting the Gyarados. Kingambit, once again, does not care. Crit did 18%. Whatever. Yeah, Kingambit's such BS, dude. 29 from Earthquake. Are we good? So at this point, if I'm Peekaboo, I would have went into Indeedee to stop the Sucker Punch. But I mean, you know, this game's probably over. Landorus is just going to win at this point. Just an outrageous, outrageous King Gambit. And Don preserving the differential. That's why they call him the Don. He doesn't risk his King Gambit's life. Wanted to get the kill for Landorus. A little BM. It's whatever. Last game of the year. Got a stunt. But yeah, that's it. I think Demo is updating the dock, so we will see our playoff matches later today. And yeah, let's get it, man. I'm excited. I'm excited. It's been a pleasure too, by the way. I don't know if I've mentioned that in any of these breakdowns, but man, it's been so much fun playing with you guys. Thanks for letting Ty and I join. Your little band of brothers. You know, y'all are the homies, so appreciate it. Ready for season 2 after this. Probably not going to go so batshit crazy with my draft next time. I might do something a little more standard, but yeah, it's been fun. And yeah, I'll catch you in the Discord. Peace.